It's time for another 5e D&D Barbarian video.
Yeah, this time we're going to be looking at the top 10 homebrew primal paths on D&D Beyond.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Join us as we rage through this video.
If you want more information on D&D Beyond primal paths, you can head over to the nerdarchy.com website, where we have an article called By the Factor of 3, and it goes over the different ways you can kind of rank and rate the primal paths for the Barbarian, so you can see those and how they all stack up against each other. Down below, there will be a link in the description.
But that's not the only link you're going to find there. You're also going to find a link to D&D Beyond, who I have to say this is going to be a sponsored video by D&D Beyond. We've been using them for a long time, and we absolutely love it.
Yep, power up your game with D&D Beyond. It makes it so much easier. It's the ultimate resource for all official D&D content. Link in the description, as Nerdarchy Ted here said. All right, so we're going to go through and we're going to list the top 10 rated by popularity, or not popularity, but views. And we're equating that to popularity, what people are the most interested in over on D&D Beyond. And then we're going to pick one and we're going to discuss that. So coming in at number 1 is Path of the Juggernaut. Then we have Path of Elemental Fury, Path of the Scald, Path of the Dragon, Path of the Tactician, Path of the Executioner, just straight up lycanthrope, Barbarian, Path of Warlord, Dragon Totem Warrior, Bedlam's Path of the Psycho, and I've got them up on my D&D Beyond on my handy dandy device right here.
So there's definitely a lot of fun, a lot of flavor, in these. We've had a chance to look at these in the past. And question is, which one of these, seems to be the most interesting?
Why don't you jump down in the comments and share which one of these primal paths kind of jumped out at you, what you're interested in, or maybe you've made your own and you'd like to share it with the Nerdarchy community down in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those things that make the YouTubes happy. Do that like, share, subscribe, even ring that notification bell.
And just a quick reminder, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we drop new Nerdarchy videos over on the channel. So come on back and see what we got in store for you.
All right, so we went through this list and, immediately upon looking at these, one of them jumped right out to me. While we read some of the others and saw what fun things that were there, we decided we were going to go with the Path of the Scald by Commander Spudley.
Behind every legendary tale of battle is a master storyteller, a Scald. The title of Scald comes with great responsibility, as the Barbarian takes on the role of poet, historian, and storyteller for their tribe. In the chaos of battle, Scalds are often found cleaving through their enemies while whipping their allies into a frenzy with their battle cries. After each glorious battle, Scalds make records ensuring that every heroic deed and bold sacrifice lives on for eternity. Through a Scald storytelling and oration, their companions may come to know great fame, as tales of their triumph are immortalized in the world's collective consciousness.
All right, so to me, I love warrior scalds. Dave and I both have a love for the Viking culture and certain things. And to me, this takes Barbarian in a direction that I haven't seen before. So just that term scald reached out, and I knew I had to get involved with what this was. When you first get this path at 3rd level, you get Talented Musician. At 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you gain proficiency in a musical instrument of your choice, which is definitely not a usual Barbarian thing.
Yeah, so you get more skills. Also, you're going to get Battle Cry. Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, you rally your companions when you rage. Each time you enter your rage, up to 5 creatures within 60 feet of you that you choose gain 1 Bloodlust die, a die 6. Once within the next minute, the creatures can roll the die and add that number rolled to any damage roll. Once the Bloodlust die is rolled, it is lost. A creature can only have 1 Bloodlust die at a time. Your Bloodlust die changes when you reach certain levels. In this class, the die becomes a D8 at 5th, a D10 at 10th, and a D12 at 15th.
So you are not just totally a barbarian that knows how to play instruments. You know how to rip your allies into a frenzy, or whip your allies into a frenzy. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, ripping them may not be a good idea.
But you get them into a battle fervor, and they can do some extra damage. It's not a whole lot, but it's still pretty nice.
Or maybe you're ripping into them drill sergeant style. You dirty maggot! Come on, fight harder! You're useless!
And it's pretty nice. At 6th level, you get Master Orator. You gain proficiency in the performance skill. If you already have proficiency in it, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: Deception, History, Nature, or Persuasion. Your proficiency is bonus for any ability check that you make that uses performance. You receive this benefit regardless of the skill proficiency you gain from this feature. So we're getting a Barbarian that's got expertise, and it's an expertise in a charisma-based skill, which you almost never see, if ever.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be. Following skills of your choice: Deception, History, Nature, or Persuasion. So
No, but you gain the proficiency is doubled for any ability check that uses performance.
Yeah.
So it specifically couples into the choice of, well, if you already had it because you're going with this route of a Skald, you don't lose the proficiency, but you do get the expertise in performance, which I like.
Yeah, a very heavy, charismatic based barbarian for sure. 10th level, Inspiring Song. Beginning at 10th level, whenever you're raging, your friends within 60 feet of you have advantage on all strength checks and saving throws against being frightened.
It's not bad. It's almost like a cool ribbon ability, but it's still pretty nice.
Yeah, the frightened thing can come up, but I don't. The strength check thing, maybe not quite as much, but yeah, for sure.
So the last thing is Rally the Fallen. And this is one that we had to read a couple of times in order to really get it to sink in. Starting at 14th level, you can temporarily revive unconscious allies to continue fighting. While raging, you can use a bonus action to rally up to 3 unconscious willing creatures within 60 feet, causing them to return to 1 hit point. You may extend the rallying song on each of your turns by using a bonus action to do so. While the rallying song remains active, anytime the affected creatures would drop to 0 hit points, they instead remain at 1 hit point. The rallying song ends when your rage ends, or at the end of any turn that you did not begin to extend the song on that turn. When the rallying song ends, each affected creature immediately drops to 0 hit points. Once used, this feature may not be used again until after a long rest.
So, basically once per day, use this ability. Up to 3 creatures essentially cannot be taken out of the fight by lowering their hit points. Now, there might be some other ways to remove them from the fight, but first you're going to have to go through that Barbarian. You're going to have to make them not use their bonus action, or you're going to have to knock them unconscious or something in order to make this happen. Yeah, I got mixed feelings about this one. It seems really strong, but again, it also, anytime an ability requires someone to get dropped, I also think is not quite as useful as well. But it's still very cool. And essentially, like, you once per day for up to 3 creatures, you can just kind of death ward them. But the only difference is it's like this death ward just doesn't end.
It doesn't go away unless the rage ends, unless they stop the ability. They don't use their bonus action to continue this rallying cry. It's powerful, yes. It's a 14th level ability, so I don't think it's broken. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. To get the maximum use out of it, you have to wait until you have 3 allies who are unconscious and be like, all right, now let's do this. So, like, it's kind of crazy. So I think because that, I think it's more often going to be like, oh, well, 1 or 2 creatures this is going to happen for. And only on those rare situations is this going to be like, all right, it's all about me, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna need all y'all to drop real quick for me so that I can use this ability and not waste any of it. So yeah, it's probably fine, like you said. You're not gonna get to use it to the maximum potential most of the time. And also, if you do, I don't know that this ability is going to be the thing that saves the day for you either.
And then when you couple that with all of the, well, not all of, but most of the lower level abilities, you're getting the advantage on strength checks and fear effects. All right, almost ribbon ability in my opinion. Getting access to certain skills and expertise for a barbarian who is typically very combat heavy. all of these things kind of fall slightly out of that realm or way out of that realm. So I think that this 14th level ability is a more of a balancing factor to bring it back in. If you have to wait till 14th level to get access to it, you've done your due diligence, in my opinion.
Yeah, because let's face it, most of the other primal paths, they make you more effective in combat by either making you tankier or allowing you to do more damage. This allows you kind of to boost and buff your allies. But the boosts and the buffs really are very limited. Like against the frightened condition, advantage. Against, strength, checks, advantage. One single die for everybody to use once during your rage. All in all, it's it's very flavorful. When we make subclasses or look at homebrew subclasses, I would rather see them a little bit underpowered and be able to add to them and boost them up a little bit than having to claw back thing.
All in all, I would say, when you look at this battle cry ability, being able to do a bloodlust die, that's every time that you rage. So, technically, you could just be like, all right, I'm going to use another rage to offer up more dice, especially as you get higher levels and more rages. So, you might want to strategize how you're doing that to distribute those dice. And I think a barbarian who's using those things effectively is going to be a better Skald. But that's the only thing that they're doing, and it's only helping out your allies. So this is the most support buff or buffer barbarian that I've seen, which I dig. And I think, breaking away from that typical norm of the barbarian who's typically focused on, I get better, I'm better.
Also, too, it's it's all front loaded on round one of the combat where you're assisting everybody do all the extra damage. So technically, basically, it's 5d6 extra, right? So instead of being spread out over 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds of combat, so it might even work out. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know. Do you want another video like this? If you do, check out the top 10 homebrew D&D druid circles.
If you'd like to help Nerdarchy continue making videos like this one, why not head over to Patreon and support us there?
As a thank you, you'll receive 5e content for both players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.